guys, and welcome back to my channel. How are we doing today? How are we feeling? I hope today we're having a great, positive, radiant day. Hope we ate. I hope we had a good, healthy meal, or even if we had an unhealthy meal, I hope it was amazing. But no, seriously, on a serious note, we're having a great day. I hope we're having an amazing day. And even if you're not having a great day, I pray that after this video, you are. Okay? So, let's get right into it. As you can see from today's title, we will be talking about breaking generational curses, which I'm extremely excited about, okay? I'm stoked. Are you excited? Because I'm excited. I can go on for 50 minutes, okay? But I'm not gonna do that to you. I ain't gonna do that to you, okay? I ain't gonna do that because I can go off. But we're just gonna hit on a couple of points. If you guys do want a part 2, whatever the case may be, just let me know. Leave it in the comments, and let's get right into it. So before we start our video, you already know we have to say our affirmations, okay? So what's the affirmations for today? The affirmation for today is going to be, today I break free from the generational curses of the past. Because that's what we're doing today, right? That's what we're doing today. That's what we strive for, right? We strive to make a difference not only in our lives, but we strive to make a difference for the generation to come behind us, right? Because they are as important as us. They are the future, okay? So let's say it again. Today, I break free from the generational curses of the past. Now let's move forward. So first, what are generational curses, right? And I think it's pretty self-explanatory. When you hear curses, you already think of something negative. So we know it's something negative, okay? Generational curses are just, past trauma that are passed down to you without your motherfucking will. Like, can you believe that? Like generational curses is someone passing down, negative patterns, just negative trauma and unhealthy behaviors that persist in your family that has been passed down to you without you even asking for it. It's crazy to think about that. When we're born, we're already given things that we don't want, right? Like life, for example. Please don't mind me. I do have a little bit of a dark humor, but you ain't asked to be here. You know what I'm saying? Like, just to be fully transparent, we ain't asked to be here, okay? It was their choices that have made us get here. And then when we get here, they got some BS that they gonna give to us and expect us to handle on our own. Okay, so that's what generational curses is. Just negative patterns, negative trauma, like depression, anxiety. Like, there's so many things that could be passed down to you that you're unaware of when you're a kid. When you're born. And so we consider that generational curses, just those negative behaviors and patterns that are passed down to us through our family. So first, when you're breaking generational curses, you want to first recognize what they are, right? You want to have, the self-awareness of what are these generational curses, right? What are some things that are passed down to you, some negative patterns and behaviors that were given to you out of your own will, so that could be numerous of things. So I'm gonna name some generational curses right now, okay? And I don't want no one panties to get in a bunch, but if you do relate to some of these things, and don't get me wrong, I do as well. That's why we are here today, to make a change. It's time to recognize these things, okay? So we can nip it in the butt, because we ain't having it for our kids and our kids. We ain't gonna do that to them, okay? So some generational curses are addiction, as far as like substance problems, because maybe you deal with just mental health issues like depression and anxiety, just always like having negative thoughts and always thinking the worst, right? Like, maybe you are born into a family that are just completely negative, never have anything nice to say, are not supportive, they don't want to do anything for themselves. They try to push their dreams and hopes onto you and things of that nature. And so when you are born in that type of environment, and you are growing in that type of environment physically, it's kind of hard to like grow positively in your head, right? And so that's what causes you to then turn to substances like, alcohol, weed, tobacco, heroin, cocaine, whatever it could be. There's so many things out there, right? Because personally, me, I feel like one of the reasons why people utilize substances so much is due to the lack of love, right? Substances are used to fulfill something within you that you feel is missing. And I feel like love is one of those powerful things that when you have true genuine love and support, you know, that's your substance right there, right? Like, you ever met a person that you like so much, or like when you're in love, you know, it's like you're high off life, right? And so I feel like when you lack that type of love and support, you know, that's what can cause you to be extremely depressed and want to, you know, resort to things that are unhealthy in order for you to feel fulfilled. So that's just one right there. Another one could be abuse, right? Whether that is physical, mental, emotional, just any type of abuse, right? Anyone speaking down on you consistently, hitting you. You could be born into a family that maybe you've witnessed, you know, your parents being abused, whether that is a mother or a father. Growing up, witnessing abuse, or when your parents argue, if they're verbally abusive to one another, they don't even have to be necessarily abusive to you, but they can be abusive to one another, right? And so right then and there, like, what type of image, what do you think that does to a child, just growing up, right? Like, when your parents are literally your first example of a relationship, right? Because that's who you spend most of your time with, at least until you're like 5 years old and you have to go off to school, right? And so if that's something that you were consistently witnessing, this is something that you may see or think it's normal, right? And so that emotional, mental, or physical abuse then, you know, goes on with you in relationships, right? Like, you may then seek out partners who are abusive mentally or physically or emotionally, and think that it's okay, that maybe you deserve this, maybe you are like your parents, you know, maybe, you know, whatever that goes on in the mind of someone who is being abused. They are literally being abused and manipulated and neglected. And so in their head, how can you believe that you deserve true love if you are allowing yourself to be abused? Because that's what happens, right? When we witness abuse in relationships as our first relationship, which is with our parents, when we witness that abuse, we end up seeking out these relationships because we then think it's okay, and we allow it to happen to ourselves, right? Because at any given moment, you can walk away from someone when they are doing anything that is wrong to you, anything that doesn't fit with you, doesn't sit right with you, anything that oversteps your boundaries, right? But when you allow yourself to still be in a situation in some way, shape, or form, it's because you feel you deserve it, you know? And maybe it's because you probably felt like, you know, maybe it's because you've heard your parents telling one another that you deserve to be hit on, you deserve to be abused, you deserve to be, you're worthless, you mean nothing to me. Just all these different negative slurs that not only stick with them, but then it sticks with you, right? And so those are just one of those things that, like, you really have to pay attention to and realize, like, even if you are in a relationship and it is abusive, why are you in this relationship? Where did this stem from? Where did you get an example of this from, right? Because when you are born and you are a child, you are pure. You are pure as day. You don't even know your name, okay? You probably just know your parents and just know or have that feeling, because babies go off of energy, right? So you probably have that energy of knowing who your parents are, but you really don't know anything, right? And so, as I was just saying, if that's being a first example of what you are witnessing, that's what you're going to feel is normal, and it's not. Next, another generational curse that there is financial problems. Okay, and I'm sick and tired. If I'm being frankly honest, I'm sick and tired. You know what I'm saying? Especially for Black families, my Black people here. Salute to you. Okay, financial problems in the family. We need to nip that in the bud right here, right now. Okay, nip it right here, right now. Even on my channel, I'm going to talk about investing and stuff like that, but you know, just experiencing financial problems, not being able to, you know, if you were a kid and you wanted to do certain activities or go certain places or go on certain trips, or you wanted certain clothes, certain shoes, certain bags, and you can't because you got to listen to your parents talk about the bills that are due. Don't nobody want to hear that. I'm going to be frankly honest with you. Don't nobody want to hear that, okay? And it's sad to say that, you know, just being frankly honest, just as a parent, like, and I'm not even a parent, but you should have at least your finances together before you have kids. Plain and simple. Because you having a kid ain't going to make your finances any better. So why go and sit there and have a child knowing what your bank account look like? And this is what I'm talking about. We need to really sit down with ourselves and be truly truly transparent about where we stand in our own lives. Because when you are truly transparent with yourself and very self-aware of where you stand, you can know what you like and what you don't like and what you want to go and how you can change those things, right? You can become a problem solver, right? Instead of you sitting around and complaining about all the things that are not going right in your life, instead of you sitting around and complaining about, the things that you don't have and the things that are going all types of wrong, you can really sit there and be aware with yourself and see why you are having these issues, and then say, you know what, maybe it's time for a change. Maybe it's time for a change. Because being a kid and you wanting something, you got to hear about your parents' bills. Ain't nobody want to hear that because they ain't got nothing to do with me. Just being freaking honest. Like, when you are a child, and you know what I used to really hate as a kid, like when they tell you stay in a child's place, but you sitting here telling me adult business. And adult business is your bills, okay? Your bills are supposed to be taken care of, baby, okay? And I didn't tell you to go and have a child before you had your shit together. Just being truly transparent, not being disrespectful, not trying to come at anyone or anything, because we all go through these things, but just being truly transparent, especially as a woman, when you know you have the ability to have kids. I know I will not put myself in a situation to have kids when I know I can't afford them. And not only afford them financially, but afford them mentally, but afford them emotionally, okay? Like, as grown adults, when you are an adult, you should be very self-aware about where you stand so that you can know how to take control of your life, okay? And a lot of people walk around this MFer lying to themselves all day long, okay? So as I said, just financial problems are just one of those things that are also a generational curse that we need to switch around, okay? Because we ain't got time for that. We ain't bringing kids into this world to struggle with us. You can struggle on your own, babe. That baby don't deserve that. That baby don't deserve that. Plain and simple. Another generational curse is lack of education, right? And I even touched on a video just about, growing your skills, always educating yourself, and lack of education is a huge thing. And I feel like that is one of the reasons why Black families have so many problems when it comes to their finances. The lack of financial literacy, right? How can you know what to do with your money when you don't even have the education on money? I can ask you right now, where does money come from? How did the currency start? How did trading start? What is going on right now today? Can you answer those questions for me? Okay. We have a problem. If you said no, we have a problem, right? And so, like I said, one of the curses is that financial problem, right? And so how can you even fix those issues when it comes to your finances, not only for you, but for your family? I know for a given fact, I know for me, I don't want to leave behind debt and trauma for my kids. You get what I'm saying? I want to leave behind healthy boundaries, healthy set of skills, a whole lot of money, a whole lot of assets. Okay, I want to leave them behind, healthy ways of solving their problems, healthy ways of getting over depression, anxiety, and just in case they have developed that, because it's something that a lot of people struggle with. And sometimes it don't even, sometimes people just develop it on their own, right? And so you want to leave things behind for your kids, and not even just your kids, but if you have a sibling, like I'm a firm believer in building relationships with your siblings, because especially if you're an older sister or your older brother, your siblings look up to you, right? And so you want to build that relationships and get them into learning healthy habits. And I feel like, especially if you know that you're growing up in a family where there's a lot of generational curses that you need to get through, the first way to help with that is with your siblings. Your siblings is the future. Your siblings are coming up, like your siblings is what's next. And so the things that you wish your parents taught you, the things that you wish your parents used to say to you, the support that you wish your parents had for you, the things that you have learned that you wish you would have learned sooner, those are things that you can then pass down to your siblings, right? Because it's never too late to even build a relationship, right? Because why would you not want your siblings to learn great things from you, right? Like, you want to leave them something that they could remember you for. You want to leave them something that be like, wow, like my sister or my brother taught me that, like, this is something like that. You want them to feel like they're ahead of the game, they're ahead of their peers. Because a lot of people don't even build relationships with their siblings. And so, yes, you just want to make sure you are continuously educating yourself, right? Because the more education you have on things, the more opportunities you can take with full force, right? And so the lack of education, the lack of opportunities, and you want to make sure you have almost every single opportunity at your fingertips as much as you can, especially while you are here on this earth. There are so many opportunities out there for people to go out and strive for. You just need to have the knowledge in order to do so. And living in a day and age, I can understand if this was back then, if this was the 60s and 70s and the 80s, when, you know, technology wasn't so advanced, the information wasn't free, you know, you could you just can't do certain things then that you can now. But we ain't this ain't then, you know what I'm saying? The internet is free, books are out there, podcasts are out there. There are people out there that are dropping so many gems, so much information. You need to go figure out what it is that you want to learn, what skills that you want to acquire, and go out there and take what's yours. Okay? Go out there and take what's yours, okay? With the confidence, with that fierce, and just change your life around. But not only for you, but for the people to come behind you. Okay, because it's not just about us. Like, we're going to leave soon. We're going to leave eventually, you know, and it's going to be up to them to then take on whatever it is that we have left and continue to go further with it. So you want to make sure that you can even leave, you know, with your kids and your siblings. You want to make sure that you can leave, you know, information, knowledge, money, and things of that nature so that they can continue to move on and, you know, reach those goals, those dreams, those affirmations, and achieve as much as they can in their upcoming life. Another generational trauma can be criminal behavior. Growing up in a household that, of course, when you struggle, people sometimes then tend to criminal activities. And I'm not here to judge. I ain't even mad at you. I ain't gonna lie. But, you know, you want to be careful what you show kids, you know, and that's why I even say, right, like parents will go, oh, I don't want you in grown folks' business, but then sit there and complain about their bills to you all day when that is their grown folks' business, right? And so what do you think that does for a child? When a child sees someone that they care and love about so much struggling, what do you think that does for a younger person, right? Especially when they don't want to see you struggle, especially when they're asking for stuff and they can't get it because you're struggling. What do you think that does for them? That makes them think, oh, well, let me find out some ways out there to go make some money. Right? And they might get themselves into a hole, you know, like they might then, you know, resort to ways that is illegal, that can get them into trouble. And all in all, like a lot of times, even when you watch, you know, documentaries on drug dealers and things of that nature, or money heists and stuff, like people just want to they just want to get the money so that they can just live a better life. That's all that is. Like when people make those decisions, it is because they're just trying to help out their situation. Plain and simple. And so even if you are, you know, if you show your kids that you do certain illegal things, and especially if you get away with it, you make it seem like it's okay for them to do so. You make it seem like it is normal. And I've never done anything illegal to try to make money, but I can't imagine how it feels doing illegal stuff to make money consistently, and how you're sleeping at night. You know, always the constant worry, you know, the constant, like, is this going to be the last time? Am I going to get caught? Am I going to go to jail? Whatever the case may be, the court cases, the lawyer fees, the whatever it is, you know, like, why would you want your kid then to witness that, think that's okay, get themselves into that lifestyle, and then have to live their life consistently worrying on edge? Why would you want that? You know how it feels. And that's the thing that kills me sometimes with generational curses, right? People know how it feels to be in certain positions, and they sit there and turn around and put you in that position. How unfair is that? And I know sometimes, a lot of times, people are doing it without realizing that they're doing it. But that's why we have to have the self-awareness to check ourselves. Okay? Because a lot of times, the acts that you do, you think is coming with the best intentions, but it's really out of selfishness, right? And like I said, we need to nip all that in the butt, because we're not trying to have that, especially for our Black families. I want to see us strive. I want to see us do better. That generational gap, I want it to be closed. Period. What generational gap? I don't even know. But I really want us to not only close the generational gap when it comes to money, but when it comes to mental health, when it comes to emotional help, when it comes to being supportive of each other, when it comes to just being there for each other. Okay, when it comes to self-awareness, emotional intelligence, learning how to communicate, having self-confidence, going out there and getting what you deserve, going out and achieving your dreams, going out there and just going for it, with no second guess, right? I want us to do those things because we deserve it and we can do it, okay? We can do it, okay? We can do it. There's no reason why we can't, especially with all this information out there. If you just educate yourself and get your head in the game, I don't think you understand how far down the line you will ever be if you just educate yourself, how far down the line your kids will be, and then your kids. You could literally sit there and make your name a household name. And even if you're not striving for the riches and the biggest and the just having your name out there and just helping people, right? At least do it for your kind. At least do it for your family. At least do it for your bloodline. At least do it for your family tree, right? Because if you ain't gonna do that, I advise you to stop having kids. That's my advice to you, okay? Because I'm tired of seeing these babies. I'm tired of seeing the babies struggle. That's just it. And last but not least, right? When you grow up in these households that, just have these generational curses, you automatically grow up with a negative belief system, right? Thinking that you can't do it. Just having the mindset of lacking, the mindset of I'm not good enough, the mindset of I'm a nobody, the mindset of this is not that's not meant for me. Like I'm too much of a regular person to really put myself out there and get things done and open up a business and it be successful. Like I'm a nobody. There's no way that's for me. That doesn't even make sense. Like, where I come from? Like, that's what people really say. That's what people say. People be like, oh, like, I can't do that because, like, who am I to achieve great things? That's what people say. Who am I to live a great life? Who am I? I don't deserve that. That's what you tell yourself. That's really what you're saying to yourself subconsciously when you don't put yourself out there, don't educate yourself, don't believe in yourself, growing up in these households with these generational curses that just, it'd be one thing after the next, right? And so that's what's kind of like already instilled in you, right? And it's unfortunate because I'm here to tell you that the richest of the richest started from nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, even the ones who have gotten money because it was passed down to them, right? Whoever started passing down that money first, they didn't get it when they were first born and just opened their eyes and all of a sudden, like, no, it started with somebody, right? Somebody had to put their head in the game. Somebody had to keep their head down. Somebody had to educate themselves. Somebody had to learn how to invest their money. Somebody had to learn all these different things in order to even pass down those things to their kids, right? So I'm here to tell you, why would you not want to be that person? And I understand sometimes it's a lot of weight. I get it. I promise you, I get it. Like, I promise you, I get it, right? But it's worth it. Because what else you gonna do? What else you gonna do with your life? What else are you gonna do? What else is there for you to do, right? What is more fun than actually putting yourself out there, taking risks, and knowing that in 10 years from now, you could be living a life that you've never even dreamed of? What is more fun than that? Than that adrenaline of just going and just doing powerful things, right? Like, what is more greater than that? And just knowing that you're not only just doing it for you, but you're doing it for your family, you're doing it for your kids, you're doing it for your kids' family, and then your kids' kids. You know how much, when people ask me all the time, like, do I see myself having kids? And I say, of course I see myself having kids. But I don't see myself having kids because, a lot of people these days, oh, baby fever and all this other stuff. I don't see myself having kids because kids are cute. Don't get me wrong. I know I'm gonna have some cute kids, okay? But I see myself having kids because I want to pass down so much to them. I want to pass down my last name, and I want them to have that last name. And when they say the last name, when they go into places, I want them to be confident and believe in their last name because their last name is gonna mean something, okay? I want my kids to feel great. I want my kids to grow up to experience things that I've never experienced as a kid. You know, not having the worries that I have had as a kid. That's what I want to have kids for. I want to have kids to change the whole shit around because I ain't okay with it. I'm not okay with it, and I'm not going to sit there and lay over and act like I am. I'm just not. And you shouldn't be either. Plain and simple. You shouldn't be okay with being dealt cards that you don't want to be dealt. Okay? Get a new deck and have them deal it again. And if you don't like those cards, then have them deal it again. And then if you don't like those cards, have them deal it again. You never settle for anything in life. And especially these generational curses that you didn't even ask for, babe. Because you don't deserve that. And neither did your parents. You know, and sometimes coming from these type of households and having, even if you have rocky relationships with your parents and stuff, you have to even grow the mindset to be understanding of them. Can you believe that? Can you believe a person who has passed down so much trauma to you, depression, anxiety, you know, just the mindset of lack? Can you believe that you have to really sit back and be understanding of them? But you do. That's what comes with it. You understand? Because they know no better. Okay? That's why knowledge is so important, because you can only do what you know. So the more you know, the more you can do. Oh, can you look at that? Look at God. Okay? Anyways, I love you guys. I appreciate you. I hope you really enjoyed this video and you're taking something from it. Okay? And I see you guys next time. Bye. Go out there and conquer the world. Okay? Don't disappoint me.